I'm sick of watching Caitlin getting attacked. If the league doesn't step up and protect her, things are going to get ugly real fast.
For weeks, the soundtrack of the WNBA was the same ugly thud. Caitlin Clark getting hacked, bumped, hip checked, and hammered, while the league office sucked down oxygen and said absolutely nothing. Fans roared online. Studio shows politely coughed and moved on. The message was clear. Handle it yourself, rookie. And then, boom, the mute button shattered. Not because the WNBA cracked down, but because the biggest microphones in basketball history suddenly decided they'd had enough. Steph, LeBron, Luka, 6+ NBA All-Stars in total. This wasn't PR-approved praise. It was raw frustration shouted across the basketball universe, a batch of unfiltered call-outs that rattled every arena from Seattle to South Beach. Normally, NBA players keep their compliments inside their own garden. A quick retweet, maybe a locker room soundbite, then back to business. Pascal Siakam broke that code on live television. Asked the fluffiest question imaginable, which Hooper's at the most love right now. Siakam skipped past dozens of NBA names and dropped a bomb. Honestly, it's Caitlin Clark, and the love around her is ridiculous.
Oh man, Caitlin she's a beast, man. Like, and they love her. So I'll probably say Caitlin Clark. I love Tyrese, but she's another level in terms of just the love that she has.
He didn't measure her against rookies in the W. He measured her against Tyrese Halliburton, his own all-star point guard teammate, and still handed her the crown. That's not charity. That's reality. Clark has bulldozed the invisible wall that once separated their league from the league, and Siakam just stamped her passport. Obi Toppin isn't built for headline quotes. His language is dunks, not dissertations, which is exactly why his reaction matters. No polish, no script, just wide-eyed respect. Caitlin's amazing, he said. Seeing her courtside of their games is awesome, and they cheer for her the same way she cheers for them. That's parody in its purest form.
Cheers for us.
Yeah, Caitlin's amazing. Super amazing. She's a great player. Having her be courtside and watching our games is awesome. We see the excitement that she has on the sides, but just like she's doing that, we do the same. Like when they're playing, like it's so much. It's a joy to watch.
Hierarchy. No women's basketball qualifier. Just Hoopers recognizing Hoopers. When mid-rotation NBA guys talk like that, you know the culture has already shifted beneath the hardwood. Being neighbors in Indianapolis gives Halliburton a front-row seat to the circus orbiting Clark. He sees the autograph seekers, the camera flashes, the non-stop noise, and her straight-faced composure through all of it. There's Brunson, Steph, Jokic, and Caitlin. He told reporters she's top 5 most famous in the sport, period. And that includes their own league, too.
She's, I think for me, getting to actually spend time around her, be around her, get to know her personally, she's just an amazing person, an amazing player. She deals with a lot. There's a lot of rhetoric behind her that she really has no control over, and I think that the way she handles that is just amazing. Like, I think when it comes to the game of basketball, like, she's probably top 5 most famous people that are playing right now, just in general. That includes our league as well.
He wasn't exaggerating. TikTok, ESPN, airports, morning shows, pick a screen, she's on it. Halliburton's empathy is the real tell here. He's felt superstar pressure as an NBA franchise savior himself. Yet even he thinks she's carrying the heavier load. That perspective lands harder than any highlight reel. When LeBron speaks, entire narrative ecosystems shift. He could have floated a safe compliment. Instead, he zoomed out to the bigger picture. She's bringing eyeballs, and for the first time the league flew private. Celebrate that. Translation: Clark isn't just hooping. She's accelerating structural progress that's been 27 years.
Because everybody is looking for you to say anything, and they're going to splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. And I think for her, the one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. They flew private. That should be celebrated in his own right.
LeBron's seen this movie before. He was a lead in it back in 2003. He knows exactly what it takes to drag an entire industry into a richer future, and his respect sounded personal, almost protective. You could hear the subtext. Don't mess this up, league. Protect the investment. Ask a born shooter how he honors another sniper, and the answer is simple. Lace up and go compete. Trae Young has never met a logo 3 he didn't like. Yet even he admitted he'd need extra reps to battle Clark in a televised shootout. The stat that binds him: only 2 college players in history have ever led the nation in both points and assists. Young's playful challenge.
You were hype about Steph and Sabrina. I know that you have spoken about Caitlin Clark. You're a big Caitlin Clark fan.
Oh, yeah.
She, of course, is an excellent shooter. Would you ever do like a Caitlin Trae 3-point contest at All-Star?
Of course I would. I've gotten to talk to her too throughout her college years. We're the only 2 people that ever led college in points and assists. That's a crazy stat. I'd have to definitely practice a lot more than I have for these previous 3-point competitions. Nah, I'd be ready for sure. I'd do it.
Young's playful challenge.
It was a peer-level acknowledgement that Clark's release, mechanics, and swagger belong on the same marquee as his own. Fans would kill for that 3-point contest, and sponsors know it. Paul George is one of the rare stars who can zoom out without sounding preachy, and his take cuts straight through the highlight reel hysteria. Veterans spent years grinding in empty gyms, he pointed out, and suddenly a rookie arrives and becomes the face of the league. Some people are going to feel some type of way about that. He wasn't excusing cheap shots. He was explaining the human backlash baked into any rapid shift. In a few sentences,
cheap shots.
You got to put it in perspective, right? These girls have been grinding to grow the game of basketball in the WNBA. They've been grinding to grow the sport to the world, the viewerships. They've been grinding for all of this. And then you have this girl that comes along from college and is an instant change. She's handed pretty much being the face of the league. There's going to be girls that are offended by that.
He was Clark's meteoric rise while still empathizing with the pioneers who paved the road she's now sprinting down, which is exactly why his quote echoed across podcasts for an entire news cycle. When a reporter tossed Luka Doncic a softball about his favorite women's player, he didn't blink. Caitlin Clark, no disclaimers, no hedging. Coming from someone whose own leap from Europe.
Who's your favorite women's basketball player?
Caitlin Clark.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like Paige Buchers?
No, she's okay. I didn't see her playing the women's NBA.
European prodigy to NBA superstar rewrote the record books. That economy of words said everything. He graded her on the hardest scale there is, professional impact, right now, and she aced it. Then there was Steph. He'd been watching the body blows, studying her tape frame by frame, and then he abandoned the diplomatic playbook entirely. I'm sick of watching Caitlin get attacked, he said. If the league doesn't step up and protect her, things are going to get ugly fast. Coming from a man...
I'm sick of watching Caitlin getting attacked. If the league doesn't step up and protect her, things are going to get ugly real fast.
Man who literally bent the geometry of basketball. That sentence was both a warning and a thesis statement. He followed it with surgical...
I saw somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine, and then her just confidence. You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer. It's crazy though, just because her shot is it's like that. It's at that level. If you really watch, like her floor game is as impressive. So. Kind of the total package.
Breakdown. Nearly identical release speed, limitless range, the same flair for showmanship before landing the real punch. She's a total package. Curry's praise is never casual. His seal of approval turned Klay Thompson into a legend and made JP into a household name. Calling Clark a kindred spirit is nothing short of a legacy anointment. Not everyone jumped on board, though. Jason Tatum brushed off the WNBA question with a 2-word answer. Aya Wilson. Respectful of Wilson's dominance, sure, but his refusal to even mention Clark's name felt pointed. Kevin Durant did something similar, naming Angel Reese as his favorite. Reese is talented, no question, but given the record-shattering year Clark had, KD's pick read almost like a subtweet. 2 major voices declining to lift her up only reinforced the tension Paul George had already flagged. Not everyone is ready for the new order. And ironically, that resistance underscores Clark's disruptive power more than any glowing quote could. Step back from the talking head noise, and the numbers are jaw-dropping. Games relocated to full NBA arenas, still sold out. TV ratings jumped roughly 400% over the previous season. Merchandise moved so fast, Nike couldn't keep her signature colorway on shelves. Charter flights got approved mid-season because the idea of a generational athlete stuck in a TSA line felt absurd for this era. Corporate sponsors kept pouring in, and yes, rival players felt the whiplash. This wasn't a gradual curve, it was vertical. Greatness never breeds neutrality. It splits a room into devotion on one side and defiance on the other. Ask Jordan, Serena, Tiger, or peak LeBron. The WNBA had been begging for this level of attention for years, and Clark kicked the door down and delivered it on a platter. Every cheer and every cheap shot proved the same point. Indifference is dead. The league can fix officiating, marketing, and revenue sharing, but it can't manufacture passion. Clark generated that overnight. Here's the tricky part, though. Elevating a single rookie into cultural orbit risks turning her into both a beacon and a lightning rod at the same time. The league has to capitalize on this moment without cannibalizing its own ecosystem. Protecting Clark's health, showcasing the veterans who paved the way, and keeping the storytelling varied. That means faster whistle reviews, a marketing budget that doesn't lean entirely on one city, and charter flights for every team, not just the Clark caravan. The NBA already learned this lesson with LeBron fatigue back in 2011. The W can read that same playbook in real time. The Steph comparisons are flattering, but Clark's ceiling was never about becoming the women's Steph. It's about becoming the first ever Caitlin Clark, a hybrid of Curry's shooting gravity, Magic's flair for the assist, and Mahomes' level cultural spark. That combination can't be borrowed. It has to be built in real time, under a spotlight harsher than any of her predecessors ever faced. NBA players sense that. Some cheer, some bristle, but nobody can look away. That's evolution playing out in sneakers. Pascal admitted the love. Obi felt the joy. Tyrese saw the humanity. LeBron saluted the shift. Trey offered the challenge. Luka certified the resume. Steph drew the line in neon paint. And yes, Tatum sidestepped, KD counter-programmed, a reminder that every revolution comes with resistance. Add it all up, and one thing is undeniable. Caitlin Clark isn't simply participating in the WNBA. She's resetting its gravitational center. The silence is over. The pressure is on, and the league's future now orbits a 23-year-old with a lightning-quick release. You wanted a spark. You got a wildfire, one so bright even the NBA can't look away.